The creation of Lewis Carroll is a more interesting story than the creation of Alice in Wonderland, because Charles Dodson and Lewis Carroll, two names, were two very different people, much like Robert Louis Stevenson's initial description of Dr. Jekyll and Mr.Hyde. So something that was going to start off as maybe another interpretation of Alice in Wonderland became a story about the person that created it.
Subject for you on this film?
Well, it wasn't a vanity project. If anything, it's out of humility, because the character is very vulnerable, and I think it just came out of me finding myself relating a lot to the sorrow that he was living in, that a lot of people didn't realize. You know, people read Alice in Wonderland and, you know, you see the irony, and adults can see the sort of double entendres and the different metaphors that are placed there, but a lot of people don't see that he had dug a hole that's very deep and very dark, and I don't think he himself even noticed it.
R-rated NC-17, are you looking at the American market as well, or are you not worrying about it?
I think it's strange that there's probably more violent references in some of his writings than there would be in what I plan on filming. There is sex, there's obsession, because he was a person who is believed to have lived and died without ever having a woman, having a family. And I think that consumed him, and I think that that was definitely a part of his insomnia and his depression.
And eyes straight to the centre here, please. That's nice. Thank you.
Just bring them to left, please. And over this side for us.
Okay, 30 seconds left.
No, as far as making films, this is definitely not a one-off. But as far as the subject matter, I think it's not a one-off either, because originally, you know, obviously, Through the Looking Glass and Alice in Wonderland are ideally, you know, anyone's dream to make, and it could be interpreted in so many ways without even betraying the actual text itself, because it's written in a way that I found that no one had really bothered to approach it, and as with Lewis Carroll as the narrator, it's always been from Alice's point of view, and I wanted to do that, and then I realized that I had to start at the beginning. It is a horror film, but it's hard to, you know, really acknowledge that when you feel almost ashamed to associate yourself with a genre that's becomes, you know, rather cliche. But it's then a challenge to redefine the genre. So we're going to make something that's very, very unsettling, but also very, I think it's kind of romantic in a way, because he just has this obsession with the idea of a girl, and so she's more than just Alice. You know, she ends up playing like one person's obsession with everything you could want in someone, because he had no one, and he died alone, and so it's a very lonely story.